To improve your wireless career. So I'm trying to give you some guidance on that. First of all, a little bit about high density networks. So if you look in Asia, you see big cities like 5 million, 10 million and more, 60 million people in one city. So you have to deal with high density type of designs, and that's quite challenging. Think about public Wi-Fi type of networks. Think about shopping malls, and people want to get connected all the time. They want to connect to Facebook and so on. But to do a design for this is quite challenging. And we heard already one name from one particular vendor who is a specialist in high density designs for stadiums. But what about moving crowd? Think about this, right? People close to each other, going to shopping malls. How do we design a good Wi-Fi network for that? So quite a lot of challenges. So 2.4 we know already that's not going to work, so we go into maybe to 5 gigahertz, but that will be full in the end as well. There's one particular airport, and you can see on my Twitter, that airport has all access points on 5 gigahertz installed. It's full. The whole 5 gigahertz is full with access points already. So maybe we need to look into other frequencies, TV white spaces. Some trials are done in Singapore already. So we heard about smart cities. Singapore want to be the first country which is a smart nation, but yeah, and the country is not that big. So that's easy to call it a smart nation, right? It's actually a city. But they want to be the first in that, so it's all fully deployed with sensors. And yeah, there are a lot of challenges to get this network to work. So they're doing a trial with TV white spaces already to move to other frequencies to see how it can be provision wireless services to the public. So that's one side of the story. The other side of the story, if you look to the ITU, the International Telecommunication Union, which exists 150 years this year, they also look into the digital divide. There are still a lot of people who are not connected to ICT nowadays. Right, so we see now a kind of statistics, 7 billion mobile subscribers. We have 3.2 billion people, okay, and 2 billion live in the developing countries. So if you go to poorer areas, maybe people have to share ICT. So how do we enable those people as well? Maybe in one of those countries, that can also be in CWNE, right? But they don't have access to ICT yet. So how can we enable those people? And the fastest way to enable those people is using wireless networks. Now, if you look to a particular country in Asia, Myanmar, I believe 9% of the population has a mobile phone. Now, we can deploy Wi-Fi like crazy, but what is the problem? Is the backbone. There's no backbone. So we need to deploy a wireless backbone as well, so that we can get those people enabled. So that's actually a good example. ITU, there's a lot of activity going on. So I'm actually based in Singapore, but I also live in Bangkok, and the United Nations and ITU Development Group is based in Bangkok as well. So that's really easy for me to meet up with them. And they do a lot of events. So this was one event where a lot of ministries of ICT attended to talk about their strategy. How are we going to enable e-government? How are we going to enable the countries to get access to ICT as well? So public Wi-Fi is one of those key points to enable cities to get connected and to enable people in remote areas as well, in rural areas. So that's actually learn a lot from those events. And another kind of relationship we have with the ITU is with the cybersecurity arm of the ITU. And what they actually do, they actually educate or train computer emergency response teams in different countries, the CERTs. Because cybersecurity is a very big topic. We see terrorist attacks, human trafficking is kind of an issue. But now people use their smartphone to trigger bombs. You probably have seen that in the news, that in Bangkok we had a big bomb explosion. But also in the south of Thailand, they trigger bombs via mobile phones. So they have this kind of military trucks driving around with jammers, and those antennas are from this ground still the ceiling, driving around to sweep the whole area continuously. So you can see some of those pictures on our website. Now, why is it important? So we do a lot of training for different regulators about wireless security. Because how do we know if someone connects with a Wi-Fi device to the wireless network, at which particular time, how long he was on that network, on which access point he was connected, because we need to create forensic evidence for the law enforcement so that we can actually trigger who was that person who did that kind of email message or did the wrong type of activity on the network. So on the cellular side, there is a kind of lawful interception mechanism, but on the Wi-Fi side, how do we do that, right? So if someone sends the wrong messages here in this hotel, how do we track that? And similar, in the Netherlands in April, there was a global conference on cyberspace. So a lot of those security experts of the countries, of the ministries, came to attend that and to see how we can address that if there is a cybersecurity attack going on for multiple countries. BICSI. BICSI stands for Building Industry Consulting Services International. That's important. So I saw some of the vendors like Yossi, with Ekahau, and also IBWave now showing you cabling on your floor plans. So they are very cable focused, but they are typically installing wireless access points. They have to lay a cable to somewhere where that access points need to be installed. So this is an organization of 23,000 members, quite big. And I actually want to see how can we actually get wireless working together. So I'll come back to that actually later, but the CWNP training, I actually pushed it to the BICSI credentials as well, so that those people start to learn from it. The advisory board. So yesterday there was one slide, my name was on it, but there are actually more people here involved, including Keith, and the other ones as well, Brian Harkins, Peter McKenzie, and so on. These are the people who evaluate your CWNE application. So once you submit your CWNE, we go to it to see does the person have experience, not only passing the examinations, but does he done really wireless designs, wireless security in the field. Okay. Over here. Yeah, you were asking me if there is a CWNE in Poland, right? Yeah, there is. Yeah, so there are still in Europe a lot of opportunities to become the first CWNE in the country. So I'm mentoring one person in Belgium, because in Belgium there is no CWNE. In Germany there are a few, and you can actually see that on this list. So go to this link. This is one of the posts I did on the CWNP forum. If you go to this link, there are more links in that link where you can actually see who are all the CWNEs in EMEA, with all the pictures. I actually called them one by one to get approval because of the European Privacy Acts, but also all the CWNEs in APAC, you can see them. Now for the US, that is the rest. I did not call the other 130 people to figure out. So if someone can help me with that, then we also can create a picture of all the CWNEs, because I think what Keith is doing with his event is important to get connected to the other ones so that we can get the brand out in the market, because not a lot of people actually know about the CWNP program, but I think it's very important that all you are here. I think that shows the commitment. Okay, so go to this link. Brian Harkins put in a video together. He sent it out this morning to Keith as well. Go to this link as well, because that link will explain what is the value of Certified Wireless Network Expert certification. Okay, a little bit about the books. So there are now two books, two publishers. One was very thin, and there's a new one coming out which is very thick. So we had a discussion this morning with Dave, why we have a thick book. Now if you see a hacker coming inside your organization, use that thick book to hit them. That's why we have two different versions. Now they can coexist. This one is a little bit more aligned to the examination. Okay, and this is more detailed about all the latest wireless security techniques. So I think they still coexist. Tomorrow and Friday, I'm running a CWSP training here in Berlin, so there are 9 attendees. Keith is sitting in, so that's very scary, because it looks like a wireless field day number 9. So that will be very challenging, and you will probably see on the Twitter how that goes. Now this is more for you, not that I'm here on this picture, but I actually download this slide deck, because this shows you the commitment in the industry. So I pushed it already at the ITU. So all the books here are at the library of the International Telecommunication Union. Also Singapore is the first government worldwide who adopted this program. So in Singapore we have kind of a scheme where they want to invest in the people to get knowledge about wireless technologies. So that shows the commitment. Malaysia government as well, and Hong Kong government as well. Go to this link again, because you can also see which vendors adopted this CWNP program, like Aerohive, like Fluke Networks, like Ekahau, and so on. Okay, so this will help you for yourself if you start to invest in CWNP certification. What is the adoption in the market? Okay, and that needs to evolve. Online training, so CWNP itself, that was yesterday on the slide as well, they have an online training program. Globeron has also an online training program. with slides with voiceovers, but we added more information on it to make it easier for you to understand where can you find all the different resources. So it's our two separate programs. A lot of people taking this already so that I can sell into other countries like Fiji. It's very expensive for me to fly into Fiji and to find people who can take this certification program. And the same was in Brazil. So people are going to take this certification in remote areas so that we can educate the market and standardize. Free. Pay attention. Free. What is free? I'm going to offer you access to our online training program only for the CWTS training, online training, only to the slides. I cannot include the examinations itself because then we need to talk to CWNP to maybe support that. But I want you to experience how the online training program works. So for people who have not done a CWTS training, I'm going to offer that for all the WLPC attendees here, valid till 30 November, but it will continue. So sign up. Also you'll get access to the Big C wireless design presentations we did last month, and the Wi-Fi track Future of Wireless. That will all be included so that you can actually see where we're heading for wireless standardization. A little quiz. So Key thought it was a joke, but this I also want to build up with the industry together with Eddie of all the wireless designs, all the Bad WiFi designs. So we have those stickers, right? We're going to post it here in the hotel. But here are some examples from here are some examples from Asia as well. So go to this link. It's still version 0.1. It's very preliminary, but we're going to create a kind of a quiz so that I can educate the market from how you should not do installations, right? So that we can trigger people. Important, governance. So you see already, how can I get that certification pushed into different vertical markets? I need to talk to the government levels. Because if the government adopts this for the financial sector, for the manufacturing sector, for the telco sector, that's how we can create standardization in the market. And that's actually what we try to achieve as events like this. People get certified, people speak the same language. All the basic issues we have like co-channel interference, adjacent channel interference should go away. And I still see a lot of those issues in those deployments. So those need to go together, certified professionals, and then it needs to be audited. So we need to look into an auditing program. Now Keith and I are probably going to sit together to detail out this more slides, because at the Wi-Fi Track conference he had a good presentation about what kind of qualified engineers do we need. I will not go into much detail, but basically what we need synchronization between the sales and the customers, and a designer need to be involved to do a design for a proper network. The cable installers need to be involved. We need to have auditors, service support persons need to be certified, and security personnel as well. And we need to get more training out in the market to standardize. Now, I was not prepared for this actually, but Keith mentioned this morning, build a Homelab. So he mentioned Ronald will talk about it, so I was not prepared for that. So I put something together. How do you get enterprise level equipment and software? Keith invested to give you great tools. He paid this from his own pocket, actually, or from the conference money, to invest back in you, to give you the, is the Link Runner or Link Sprinter? I don't know, Link Sprinter. Right, and also all the vendors, right? They give you all the great tools, the enterprise tools, the site survey tools, the protocol analyzers, what else do we get? Spectrum analyzers type of tools. But you also can go to webinars where you can get standalone equipment or cloud managed type of equipment. A lot of events are going on the web. Also in our certification training we give all the software, so we have a lot of support from all the different vendors so that people get hands-on. I find that important. If you're a CWNE and you only pass all the exams and never have seen the enterprise class tools, then there is a mismatch. It is really good for you to understand what kind of tools there are out in the market for all those different design areas. Website links. So of course, Keith Parsons' website is a good resource. Go to all the 121 videos from his previous conferences from 2014. I still go back to those videos. There's so much good information in those videos. And oh yeah, right. And on the USB. You can also go to this is our website. So we have a YouTube channel where we put some presentations about Wi-Fi or wireless standardization. For the industry, because that's something I see where we're heading to. We need to get a kind of a standardized framework in place, because now someone was showing about the Wild West. Everybody deploys Wi-Fi like crazy, and there's no proper standardization, audit and coordination which need to be in place. photos of classes here. CWNP forum has a good resource. Go also, for example, to other CWNEs who put up a blog. For example, this is Razika, CWNE 153 in Australia. He has this website, mrnccIW.com. If you're going for the CWNE certification, definitely look to this website. You can see a lot of good stuff he put together. So you can get a kind of an idea what you need to prepare to become a CWNE. That's it. That's yeah. Thank you.